So this is a poll if you are new. By clicking down here, or maybe over here, actually, down this side, you will see a circle. That circle will give you the chance to vote. Comment says history is a window to the future. Ooh, I like that. It's true. They say if you study past, which is history, you can maybe not predict the future, but get some insights into the future. You make the same mistakes, you repeat the mistakes over and over again because it is cyclical. The world is cyclical. Everything is a cycle. So everyone said yes, which is, it shows how cultured you are, right? Because a lot of times people don't care about it. They're like, oh, it's boring. I just like to watch the Transformers movies. I don't care about that stuff. But it is very important. So here we have Halloween. So do I celebrate or don't celebrate Halloween? So in your country, do you celebrate or do you not celebrate Halloween? So let's see how many people here celebrate it. Maybe talk about your country, not you personally, because in America, we celebrate Halloween, but I don't. I'm not too fond of this holiday. If you look at the history of it today, you will see that it's not the most joyful celebration, and the roots are a little bit pagan. And so I personally don't celebrate right now. I'm here with you, right, to talk about the history of this. So most people don't celebrate it, but a few people do. So if you do or if you don't, you'll still learn a lot. So let's talk about, so we're here, we have this phrase or this expression here, which is when you talk about the origins. So the origins is how it started, right? So what is the expression here? You had to give out candy to the children, right? I'm actually in Germany right now as well. I'm in Hamburg and visiting my sister, and I was surprised to see kids trick or treating, right? Yeah. So a lot of people said origined, but it's not origin. It originated in, right? So let's talk about this. Okay. So originated in what country? In America, right? In England, in Germany, or in Ireland? What do you think? Where did Halloween originate? So where did it originate? And then the answer is it originated in, and then choose, right? It's on where does it come from? So some people say, a lot of people are saying America, right? It's an American tradition. And it is right now, it is mostly American. But the question is, was it born? Was it created? Did it originate in America or somewhere else? So a lot of people got it right. A little bit more than half. So it's Ireland. Technically, it would be maybe Ireland and Scotland, but historians believe it was more Ireland. Yeah, it originated. Right. So Halloween originated in Ireland. An advanced phrasal verb is stem from something, is to be caused by something, right? To be or to come from something. So a stem is, so you have a stem which is in a flower of or a plant, the stem of a plant, is the part that has the leaves. So it conducts water. It's the main part of the plant. So when you say something stems from, it means it comes from. So to be caused or to come from something. So depending on the context. So here it says to be caused by something. Something stems from something, or to basically it originates from or it comes from. So some examples. Confidence stems from having the inner strength to love, accept, and trust yourself. The disagreement stemmed from a misunderstanding. The disagreement was caused by the misunderstanding, or the disagreement comes from or originated, right? Much of the instability stems from the economic effects of the war, right? So the war caused the instability. These practices stemmed from traditional Chinese medicine. In this case, it would be the practices originated in traditional Chinese medicine. Yes, it is. It is. It is. Yes, we'll talk more about that later. Good. So see if you can. This is an advanced one. And every time we have an advanced one, I want you guys to try it. Okay, because it's an advanced phrasal verb. So see if you can try to use this phrasal verb. Okay. So something stems from something else. So this practice stems from Chinese medicine. It originated in Chinese medicine, right? So you could say the disagreement stems from the misunderstanding. Exactly. So disagreements in general stem from misunderstandings. So this is the rule it stems from. It's caused by. So it can be caused by, is a result of. Ooh, Anastasia, I saw this one. Sorry, I didn't see this one. Reckless acts stem from stupidity, and it's many from stupidity, right? So stupidity causes, right? So here, stupidity, that's the origin. Origin. So the stupidity causes reckless acts. Yeah. So causes. So reckless acts are caused by stupidity. All right. Any other ones? So the disagreement stems. Yeah. Stems is the verb. So if it's it, then it has an S. Rice stems from China. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the grammar is right. It doesn't sound 100% natural. Like rice comes from China. More like ideas, practices, but products or physical things, you wouldn't use it for physical things. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay. I see some good ones here. Good. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's see. A very advanced sentence from our advanced students. So the wish to speak English in a confident manner. So here it'd be manner. So no, not matter, but manner stems from the necessity to feel welcome all over the world. Great sentence. Great sentence. I like this sentence. It's very advanced. Okay, it's very advanced. So the wish to speak English in a confident manner stems from, right? So the origin, this right here, is the cause. The cause. What creates the wish? What causes the wish? It's the necessity to feel welcome, right? The necessity to work in multinational organizations. Okay, good. So here it's a wish. So remember, it's not a physical object, but it's something, an idea or a feeling or a practice or a philosophy, or in this case, Halloween. So Halloween, the stems from blah, blah, blah. So later we will talk about where it stems from. But so Halloween was believed, or you could also say is believed, right? Because people believe it now. But here, let's just use was. So here, this is advanced. Was believed to stemmed, to had stemmed, to stem, or to have stemmed. Okay. So what do you think? What would be the correct form of this from? So here, this is the structure. So here, people believed that Halloween stemmed from, that's the active. Here, it's the passive. So Halloween was believed by people. So it's the passive form of believe. So Halloween was believed to. And then you want to choose the correct option. Was believed to have stemmed. No. Okay. So maybe we can dig deeper into this. So then anytime you have this situation come up, let's just was believed to have, and then the verb. This is the verb 3. So here, in this case, you could say Halloween, but you can change it. For example, the flu was believed to have originated, right, in, I don't know, or let's see, AIDS was believed to have originated in Africa or in a lab. Okay. So here it means people believed it. And then here, because you get to people, it has to be the have plus the phrasal verb. So present perfect. Believed to have done something. Right? So you believed. So people say, why not? Why not believe to stem? But you remember it's passive. So to have stemmed. So that's the key there. We need to look at the structure. And here it's an advanced one. Okay. So let's see. Maybe you can try something like this. Okay. So what is this? Halloween was believed to have stemmed from this one. So here let's look at a full sentence. Halloween, which originated over 2,000 years ago, was believed to have stemmed from the ancient Celtic festival of Swain. I think it's pronounced Swain. So let's check this one. Okay. The pronunciations. Okay. So here, let's look. You see this? Sound. So sound. Samhain. You can say Sawn or Samhain. So like clown or Samhain. So now here, Halloween, which originated over 2,000 years ago. So it was believed that the passive voice, people thought it was true. So Halloween was believed. Now, the perfect infinitive, to have stemmed from, this belief is something that happened earlier. So it's anytime you have something that happened before, then you have to put the have. right? So people believed it, but people believed it before that. So it's a double past. So it is connected to the Celtic festival of Samhain. Yes, Samhain. My Irish, okay, there you got all the transliterations, okay? And yes, Yana, to is the infinitive, so it's not the directions. It's just believed to have been. Okay, so that's it. So here, these are the Celts, right? The Celts. So, what do you know about the Celts? What do you know about the Celts or the Celtic people? What do you know about Celtic culture? So, the Celts had celebrated Samhain on the night of October 31st, believing that the boundary between the living and the dead weakened as winter set in. All right. So this is a very interesting sentence, very interesting. Okay. So they had celebrated it on this day, and it was a part of their tradition, right? Yeah. Okay. And here, let's look at maybe the boundary. That's an interesting thing. The boundary, right? The living and the dead. So the boundary is like the limits, right? The limits. So what's interesting here is that all throughout history in a lot of different cultures, whether it's the Celts, whether it's people in ancient Mexico, right, the Aztecs and Mayans, people in the Fertile Crescent in the Middle East, in the Far East, they noticed certain things around this time. They noticed that interesting things happened around these dates. A lot of maybe spiritual, supernatural things happened. And so they developed these myths, these stories to explain it. They didn't know what was going on, but people experienced these things. And over many years, many generations, people started noticing. So the main thing to understand here is that they believed that the boundary, what separated the living and the dead, weakened. I believe there is some truth to these beliefs. Let's call them mythologies. These are mythologies, right? They are, now some people think they are completely fake, that people just invented them. That there's nothing true about it. Meaning people were bored and they said, okay, let's invent this holiday to scare people. Now, other people say, no, there is some truth to it. Meaning maybe some paranormal things. That's another word. Paranormal. Normal things happen every day. But maybe around this time, at the end of October and early November, some paranormal things happen. Maybe, right? Now here, it's about 50-50. That's very interesting. Now, Common says fall is a time when nature prepares for a reset. Exactly. So in a way, there is a connection to nature. There is some truth, right? Nature dies, right? Trees, they die. Plants die. Flowers die. And it's around these dates, more or less. You can see it when you go outside. A lot of the vegetation is dying and the days are becoming shorter. So maybe that scares some people. There's more darkness. Maybe people think they understand everything. People say, oh, science explains everything in the world. There is no supernatural, only natural. Other people think that there's a lot of things that we don't understand. And maybe there could be some things, some spiritual or paranormal things happening, right? So, yep, they need an explanation. But the question is, was it just stories or was there more? Could there be maybe a like a portal? That's what they believe, that the dead could travel back into our world. You could see them, you could connect with them, you could pray to them, and they can speak to you, they can come to you, they can appear. So the dead and the living came together. Normally, they were separated, but around this time, they came together. So that is very interesting. So here, let's talk about habits in the past, things that happened regularly. So every year, the same thing happened. So would you say people used to wearing costumes? People used to wearing costumes. People used to wear costumes, or people used to wear costumes. Choose the correct option here of the verb used. Now, you could say people wore costumes, and that makes sense, right? They wore them. But if you want to emphasize the fact that they did it regularly, usually, that's why we say usually used, it's the same base, which implies a usual factor, right? So people used to wear costumes, 75%. Give yourself a high five. If you got it right, give yourself a high five. You deserve it. JJ, they used to wear costumes with an S. Don't forget about the S. The S is very important because it is the plural. It's the plural. Plurals have S's. So let's talk about this. How often have you worn costume in your lifetime? So here's wear costumes, worn. Have you worn? So let's give you a few options. Okay, at least once a year. Okay, maybe a few times in my life or never. So let's see. So here, how often do you wear costumes? But here's what I'm changing it a little to practice the present perfect. Because how often do you? But I want to know, how often have you? How often do you wear? How often have you worn costumes? Very good. So almost never. So I'm not used to wearing. That's another construction. So I used to wear, but I am not used to wearing, which is a present action. So very good sentence. Yeah, children like that. It's part of growing up. I did it a few times when I was younger. I haven't worn a costume in many years. But before, it was a yearly thing. I went to Halloween, not Hollywood parties. I wish I had gone to Hollywood parties, but I went to Halloween parties. Okay. So, Yana, not customs. Let's pay close attention to this one. The difference. So, customs versus costumes. Okay. So, customs, this means Traditions, customs, and tradition. So, what are your country's customs? What are your country's traditions? Costumes are outfits you wear pretending to be someone else. Right. So I don't think all costumes are bad. Some of the they're good costumes and bad costumes. I typically liked not scary ones. I like just to wear like a sailor, be a sailor, or a knight, or a Roman legionnaire. But I never wanted to become Dracula or something. That was always weird for me. Okay, so let's work on your pronunciation. Customs, costumes. Do you hear the difference? Custom. That's the traditions. Customs and quadrobers. Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Anastasia, but I will Google it. I will Google it and I will learn about it. It sounds interesting. So JJ used to wear vampire costumes. Wow. You really liked it. That's good. That is very good. Yada likes wearing costumes. That's good. What do I think about Dracula? Are you talking about the fictional character, or are you talking about Vlad Tepes? So I know about the historical Dracula, the real one, who was Vlad Tepes. Now I know that history portrays him as a terrible, scary man who killed a lot of people. But I don't know. I've also heard some accounts that he actually did a lot for his people. He protected them against the Ottomans, who were conquering those lands and who were not the friendliest people in the world. Exactly. He was a national hero. Some accounts say he was very violent and he killed a lot of people in a very violent way. I would rather believe that he was a hero, right? He protected not just his kingdom, but Europe, right? Because it was the Ottoman Empire, the was very strong, very powerful, and they were good warriors. So this is Vlad Tepes, the Romanian national hero, right? And so they say that the story of Dracula comes from this, but of course, Dracula, that's a different story. That is, Dracula was a fictional character, right? A fictional character, fictional. It was a book, right? A story, okay, by Bram Stoker. Yeah. Okay. So very interesting. But yeah, he punished the people and he punished them. He punished them and he had no mercy on them. He's exactly, yeah, Dia de los Muertos. But Dia de los Muertos is not today or not tonight, but in 2 days, November 2nd. Okay, so here, they used to wear costume, and most people, how many times have you worn? A few times. So most people said a few times in my life. Okay. Now, here, this is connected to costumes. When, but smoke does the same thing. Does it guard? So smoke guards off spirits, wards off spirits, fears off spirits, or goes off spirits, meaning that spirits, like ghosts, get scared, right? They run away. So with smoke, people believe that smoke makes spirits run away. It scares them, right? But here we're going to talk about costumes in a second. But here I just want to teach you this expression, which means that it scares them away. Yeah, actually, I did, Liliana, but I thought Vlad Tepes, I thought his castle was in. Tell me, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe his castle, Vlad Tepes, the castle of Vlad Tepes, was right next to Brasov. So it's also Transylvania, but I don't think it was in Sigishwara, but maybe I am mistaken. Okay, so you tell me. You're the expert. You're the Romanian expert. Anastasia says demonizing Vlad Tepes, people tried to bring him down. Exactly. Right? People tried to bring him down. History is always a tricky thing to study because it's always one side of the story. Comment says it was normal for the time. Yeah, those were some very brutal years. Very brutal years. Ooh, okay. I see. So Iris says in Braun, near Brasov. Yeah, right next to there. Actually, I've been there. It was a while back. I have to say it was a while back. So here, let me show you. Let me show you my pictures here. So here, this is me in Brasov. This is me in Bucharest with the Romanian prophet. This is Dracula's castle. This is Sibiu, and that's the game. Okay. Yeah, I've been to Sigishwara. I've been to Braun. I've been to Brasov. I've been to Sibiu. I've been to Transylvania. I've been to Bucharest. Okay. I have. Very nice country. Nice people. So the correct one here, and 0% got it right. It's ward off. It means to scare. So people used to wear costumes, often animal skins, to ward off wandering spirits who were thought to roam the earth during Samhain. So remember, people believed ghosts or demons or spirits, right? Angels, or they would wander around. So they would roam around, they would walk around the earth, right? That normally they were in a different dimension, but around this time, it was like a portal that opened, and these spirits, they came to our world, and the costumes scared them. So the costumes, they were designed to ward them off. Ward them off means to scare them, right? So it's not just, it wasn't a game back then. People think, oh, they did it for fun because it's funny. Let's wear costumes. No, back then it had a practical purpose. It was a practical way to ward off the wandering spirits who were roaming the earth during Samhain. Now this one, okay, this is the holiday. So this is a much later holiday right here. And it's the holiday on November 1st. Is it All Souls Day? All Angels Day, right? Is it All Spirits Day? Okay. Or was it All Saints Day? All right, so here I'm going to put all of these here in the chat. So this is tomorrow. Tomorrow is a church holiday, right? Which is a holiday where, here you see the picture. They're in a big cathedral, right? It's not a picture, it's like a drawing, probably AI generated. But they're like in a big cathedral that represents heaven. And a lot of it. Exactly. It is a holiday. It's a holiday in most Western countries. right? And it is All Saints Day. Good job, guys. Remember, All Souls Day is November 2nd. So the church decided that November 1st was All Saints Day and November 2nd is All Souls Day. So all the people that died. Here, sorry about this. I didn't center it properly. But anyway, let's see if we can do it. So by the 8th century, Pope Gregory III had designating, or was designating November 1st as All Saints Day. So which one is correct? A, B, C, or D? So it was by the 8th century. Pope Gregory III, he was the Pope. And then it's had designating, or was designating November 1st as All Saints Day, likely aiming to replace the pagan festival with a Christian holiday. Nice. So here it is had designated. So it's by the 8th century. So because it's by, it means it happened before the 8th century. No, it was a process. And what happened is that a lot of people were celebrating it. They had been celebrating it for hundreds, maybe thousands of years before the church. Thousands of years before. So people were not going to stop. So what the church did is they said, okay, people will continue celebrating it. So we will create a holiday for people to celebrate instead. When you, instead of quitting something, you always have to replace it. If you quit doing something, the best thing is to replace it with something. They replaced the pagan, right, festival with the Christian holiday, which is All Saints Day. Yeah, exactly. You can also be someone who has a religion that is not accepted by society. So the Romans were pagans. They believed in the Roman gods like Mars and Venus and all these other Roman deities. So they called them pagan because they didn't follow the established dominant religion at the time. Okay? The night before All Saints' Day had come to be known as All Hallows Eve. So it's hallows, it's like saints, right? So the eve is the day before. So here, which one is correct? Which means that the Halloween, the name Halloween, actually originally was All Hallows Eve. But All Hallows Eve, it's hard to say All Hallows Eve. So people just say Halloween, right? All Saints Day, November 1st, where you celebrate all the saints that lived great lives in honor of God, right? So all those saints, tomorrow is their holiday. So tonight is the eve of that. So All Hallows, All Saints Day, All Saints Eve, or All Hallows Eve came to be known is the correct one. So the night before All Saints Day came to be known as All Hallows Eve, and the name evolved into Halloween. So I'm going to give you, we don't have much time, these are turnips. So during the Middle Ages, Europeans would carve turnips into lanterns. Later, it became pumpkins, but it was turnips, and they made lanterns. And they believed that the lights could scare away evil spirits lurking around their villages. Halloween. So the original one in Scotland and in Ireland, there were turnips, and they carved them. In America, they turned it into pumpkins because there were so many pumpkins and they couldn't eat all of them, and they got tired of eating them. Let's just carve them and use them as decoration. after being introduced to America by Irish immigrants, it was the Irish who brought it to America in the 19th century, Halloween took on new traditions, such as trick-or-treating, that would shape the holiday we recognize today. So America did change Halloween, and what you know today by trick-or-treating and all these things, it was America who changed it, but it didn't originate in America. By the early 20th century, Halloween had already become popular across the United States, giving rise to a variety of festive activities like costume parties and ghost storytelling. Some historians believe that Halloween could have incorporated elements from other cultural traditions as well, which contributed to its diverse customs. So the American Halloween incorporated a lot of elements. Though it originated as a festival of the dead, Halloween has transformed over centuries into a celebration enjoyed by people of all ages, regardless of its spooky beginnings. Now, a lot of people see it as something fun, right? The origins are scary, very dark. People were super scared. Remember this 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, actually more than 2,000 years ago, people would be so scared tonight. They stayed at home. They would wear costumes to ward off the spirits. Now, people are having parties. Don't be scared. That's the most important thing because tomorrow it's All Saints Day. So don't be scared. Have a good night.